Welcome to our vibrant network of governance, risk, compliance, and cybersecurity leaders. We share cutting-edge insights, best practices, and innovative strategies to empower professionals in navigating the dynamic cyber threat landscape. Join Circolo de CISO to ignite resilience and data protection across industries.
Welcome to the final episode on platformization. We at Circulo de CISO, we bring professionals to the platform and discuss various topics of interest. Topics which include risk, governance, compliance, cybersecurity, privacy, anything which has a risk element, a privacy element, or a cybersecurity element. And in that context, we are continuing our conversation on platformization. And Chinthaka has been with us in the last 3 episodes, and he's back again for the final episode. So those of you who didn't get to watch the previous 3 episodes, Chinthaka Ekanayake is a cybersecurity professional with over 7 years of experience. He has worked with global brands, continuing to serve the global brands, his customers, and he's also a CISSP. Chinthaka, thank you so much for making time to be here for the final episode.
Thank you, Sujit. It's a pleasure to come back again.
So we've been having this conversation. First episode, we kind of defined what is platformization. Second episode, we discussed the challenges. And the third one, we discussed in the context of cybersecurity. So I would like you to, reflect on what we have discussed in the first 3 episodes. In the context, where do you see the future is for platformization? Right? We agree that that it's here to stay, but what is the future looking like?
So, if you look at in the industry, what has happened over the past 1 year, maybe, right? We have seen a lot of acquisitions that are happening, and then we have seen major players in the cybersecurity industry building up their portfolio so that they bring in, if we have endpoint preparation, then they want to have security, they are bringing on SIM capabilities, then probably it might expand into network security aspect as well. What we have seen is all of these acquisitions are happening in the industry, and players are looking at building overall platforms. So the way that it is going, it is like you rightly mentioned, that it is there to stay, and we will see that technological shift as well. If you look at last 1 year, we have seen there are a lot of acquisitions that are going around SIEMs. So there is going to be a technological shift in how we actually adapt SIM and how we going to continue our operations. So all of these things become part of a platform, and now it's going, and it will benefit us as well, because if you look at the benefits that we talked about earlier, right, adapting a platform that you get consistent security, you get to apply consistent security policies, and then you get greater visibility from the single trend. That means by looking at a single screen and understand where to prioritize and where to put your efforts into, and then end of the day, overall, all of that convert into better operational efficacy. So that is end of the day, that is the goal for most of the organizations. How do I make sure that I get the best out of whatever that they are investing? So they will have better ROI in terms of their security investments, and it makes a lot of sense for people who are using the platforms as well, because like we previously discussed in the episode, that they will get a chance to actually upgrade their skills. They'll not get bogged down, they will not get stuck in doing the same thing over and over again. They can upgrade their skills and move forward. So since platform is delivering all of these benefits for an organization, so the organization will also look at an opportunity to all these platforms. So then when organizations are looking into adapting these platforms, they will have strategic discussions around it. How we should approach security in our organization, what are the key goals that we should focus on, and how do we actually incorporate that overall? Because when you're adopting a platform and you think about platforms, you can't think isolated, you can't think your file as the endpoint separately, the the security that we have for network security separately, and then the security operations separately. We are from an overall strategy perspective. So it will be a good shift in the industry from cybersecurity perspective, and that will actually help us to address the challenges that comes in the future because of all the development that we are seeing that are happening with AI, and we are seeing attacks getting faster. It's very easy to automate attacks itself, and the moment you deploy a VM, the moment you deploy something on the cloud, there are each other that it's going to get attacked very fast, and they're trying to look for weaknesses. So we need to have the right tools in place that we be able to actually identify those weaknesses before they actually get deployed itself. So industry will adapt platforms, and from consumer perspective, you will be adapting platforms, and then from OEM terminal perspective, will be these platforms so that we can cater for better security outcomes.
So what I'm hearing, or what I actually gained out of this conversation, is that we are looking at end to end. It's more or less like a one-stop shop, where you understand your needs, you have a list of things and requirements. So you identify a platform, you turn them on a daily basis based on your risk appetite. Today, I think the biggest challenge for a lot of organizations, the security products they have deployed in their environment is a standalone, it's a silo. So when it comes to monitoring, visualization, situational awareness, bringing all these telemetry to a single point, correlating and making contextual information out of it is a big challenge. And especially when it is for the frontline security professionals who are the first responders, it is humanly becoming impossible because we are talking about fatigue. We are also pressurized to minimize the detection time, minimize the response time. So I guess these platforms will also build in capability, as you mentioned in the previous episodes. Supporting technologies, right? Like assistance, like using AI, ML, which can also do orchestration for you. So which means your time to detect has reduced, time to respond has significantly come down, and policy enforcement is also consistent, where you also have a trail of all actions performed and becomes auditable. So in other words, you're able to build and demonstrate a good governance framework. All right, say that,
Definitely.
you want to add?
Definitely sharing. 2 years back, we were mostly talking about consolidation. But when we are talking about consolidation, we were mostly talking about limiting the number of vendors. But one important aspect that platform brings into the consolidation is that by we bringing those products, we actually make sure that products talk to each other so that it makes meaningful. Like, for example, let's say we are seeing a this boy that is going to a malicious destination. We need to know which process actually initiated the DNS code. Because end of the day, we need to understand why you want to be logging it at the end, but we need to understand why it got initiated in the first place. So if you can have that information, the moment you see that alert, and if you have that information, it becomes very easy for you to actually go and respond to that, and then take your actions in the first place. So,
and one significant benefit I see, I mean, if I were to ask to adopt a platform, I can repurpose my resources. When I say my human resources, because bulk of the mundane tasks, routine tasks are going to get automated. Thereby, it is going to reduce that fatigue out of that whole process, which means these resources can be used for more meaningful work, right? Maybe for decision making, or maybe enhance, or maybe increasing the security posture, rather than sitting and firefighting and checking and responding to each of the alerts. Now they can probably contribute more strategically and say, hey guys, I mean, these are things which we could do where we can enhance the platform. So thereby we can reduce the risk cost. People know.
Definitely, I think that is one of the greatest benefits that we get by adapting the platform, because we always say you might have all the tools in the place, but you know your environment, you actually have to spend time in your environment, you actually improve your processes that you have. And also, you need to spend time on doing threat hunting. Even if you look at security operations, we usually say 1/3 of your time you will spend on firefighting or responding to alerts. The other 1/3 of the time you should actually spend time on threat hunting. The other time actually you should spend on improving your processes. Maybe you can write new detection rules, you can bring in new hypotheses, and then you can go along that and then write new correlation rules if there is detection together. So that will directly benefit all of us who are in the cybersecurity industry by adopting platforms like that as well.
So typical from wherever you are sitting right now, you get to see maybe the Fortune 500 customers, right? Or maybe you're having conversations who are probably operating in multiple geographies, multiple continents. Right? We're talking about massive deployments of endpoint devices, end-user devices. Like in most sizes, I probably have top of head, so 200, 300,000 end-user devices in those, not counting IoT or multi-device. What do you see as their appetite for platform?
What I've seen is actually when we talk about platformization and the outcomes that it can deliver, when we show that, okay, the platform can actually give you these contents and we can address their day-to-day challenges that they are facing, that actually resonate very well with them. So all of them, what I feel is they are looking at vendor consolidation, they are looking at platformization, because all of their strategic goals has been around how, okay, I'm doing an investment, how do I get the best out of that? So when it comes to platformization, that's exactly where platformization helps. So from key benefit perspective, the first point is it actually helps you to deliver better security outcomes. That means the organization's security posture will improve and overall security operation get improved. The other point of view from investment perspective, overall, when you get into a platform, actually it helps investment people. Oh, we are talking about generating skills for improving process. So you don't need to hire more people. If you're hiring more people, that will be to get more benefit. So a lot of your investment really gives you better return. So from a management perspective, also it makes sense. And end of the day, from overall security perspective, also improves.
But I also want to convey a message still people watching. You should not get alarmed when we say, okay, the platformization would reduce the effort or reduce the skills required. But these also create new roles, new jobs. Right? How you said 1/3 of the effort will go into writing new scripts, addressing new scenario. So you need people who can actually visualize the threat landscape and look at the emerging threats and write rules or maybe run book or playbooks, whatever you call it, so that they can be implemented. Right? So I guess the roles are going to change. A guy who was sitting and probably attending to alerts will now sit and look and say, okay, if I see these kind of threat factors out there, or ATP APD groups, this is what we should be doing. Or can we actually reduce our time to detect a threat? Meaning reduce the effort of threat hunters, or maybe make it more efficient for them so the detection becomes much more swifter. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's new and like you said, so when we are helping with companies, what we see is previously people who used to work siloed in the sense one guy was in charge of endpoint operation or just deployment endpoint. He was one part of the software responding to that. Now all of they get now when with the adaptive platform, what happens is they all become part of that single platform. So while they are doing the same thing, they also know into different avenues because they can do that job efficiently. So they have time, they can invest time on aspect to improve the overall operation. So everyone becomes part of the software as well. So end of the day, what benefit is that organization overall security you have to get
For
into
sure, is it?
because everyone is part of security.
So thank you, Chinthaka, for sharing your thoughts. But before we wind up this episode, do you have any closing thoughts which you want to quickly summarize and tell the viewers? Hey guys, these are 3 things I would like you to take note and go back and do your due diligence on the file. Any pointers?
I think from pointers perspective, I think when you're looking at platforms, the two biggest dilemmas that you will have is when I should go for best of breed of platform. So that is something that you have to evaluate properly when adopting a vendor. Can they actually do this job effectively? Not just throw names in an erroneous data. It should not be like that. You should understand how effective they can do the job for you. The other aspect is how you can actually make sure that your existing investment do not go to waste, and then how you can actually adopt the platform. So you should have a strategy in place how you are going to adopt the platform. So it's better to start looking at a platform now itself and have that plan how I'm going to do it in the future, because it's not going to be a one overall. You can't change one way itself. So you should have a strategy in place and then adapt it.
A couple of pointers I want to add is look out for their vision statements, right? What is their vision? What is in the roadmap? How is this product going to evolve? And what new features are they going to add? Are they in line with their whole business, or are they deviating from that? So that might be something which you need to also be cautious. The second thing is look out for the analyst reports. What are the analysts talking about this tech company? Right? What are they going to be doing? Or are they going to be up for sale soon, or somebody would acquire them? That would also have an impact in your strategies with respect to cybersecurity. So with that thought, Chifira, thank you so much for taking time, for being with me, answering all my questions. As all, we've actually came through some of the peers, my community partners who asked those questions. You responded to them. Thank you so much. I also want to thank you and invite you maybe for another topic maybe in the future so that we could have another conversation about this. All the best, Chief.
Definitely. Thank you, Sujit. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on this episode.